false beliefs in the Mahdi. They have attributed to him the attributes of Allah, and such an individual we do not believe in, because no one has the attributes of Allah. Allah's attributes are unique to himself alone. This is the basic Islamic belief with regards to the Mahdi. Another question. This question is from Anis Riza in Ajman. Dear Dr. Bilal, I've heard that if one does not remove the unwanted hair within 40 days, prayer after 40 days will not be accepted. Is this true? If it is true, at what age should we teach our children this fact? There's a second question. We'll answer this one first. Brother Anis, the removal of unwanted hair. Well, what this is referring to, for the viewers who are not familiar with this, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had said that it is from the Sunnah, from the way of the Prophet, to cut and remove certain things from our bodies. He identified them as trimming the fingernails and the toenails, removing the hair from our underarm, from our armpits, and from our pubic area. Furthermore, for men, obviously, we are also told to trim the mustache. And for men again, we are instructed, or parents are instructed, to circumcise the children from the early age, by the 7th day, or from birth. These are the principles of what the Prophet ﷺ referred to as the fitrah, or the natural way of the believer. Now, his companions clarified that they never used to let their nails and hair go beyond 40 days. It's not obviously according to the instructions of Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessing be upon him. The preferable time is, of course, every Friday. At least by every Friday, we should trim our fingernails, toenails, and remove the hair under our underarm and our privates. This is a general cleaning or hygienic practice which Islam functions according to, for both men and women. I know for those non-Muslim viewers this might seem a little strange. However, medically, we have plenty of medical evidence that, this hair of this area tends to harbor bacteria, etc. And, of course, what comes with it are odors, etc., etc. And we know for women, when they are going to when they're going to deliver, one of the first things that the nurses do is to shave that private area, remove the hair from that area because of the bacteria, etc. it can harbor there. So Islam teaches us, not just at the time of delivering, which would mean it's only for women, but for both men and women to remove the hair from these parts of the body. And it should be done, as I mentioned, according to the way of the Prophet and his companions, may God's peace and blessing be upon them. It should be done at least at the longest period of time that should be left is 40 days. Every Friday preferable, but at least every 40 days. Now, if one goes beyond 40 days, does now one enter into a state of sin? No. Because Prophet Muhammad, for it to be a sin, Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessing be upon him, would have stated for us that whoever allows, their hair and nails to grow beyond 40 days, they have disobeyed God and disobeyed the Prophet or committed some sin. He would have clarified that for us. But there are no such clarifying statements. There's just a general statement for clipping and cutting. So this is a general requirement. We should try to stay within the 40-day period, but if one accidentally goes beyond that period, it is not considered to be a sin. Therefore, there is no way in the world that the prayer of one who did not clip their fingernails and trim the hair from their privates and underarm, that their prayer would not be accepted. This is totally incorrect. This statement has no Islamic basis for it. It is a misunderstanding and a misrepresentation of the teachings of Islam. With regards to the age to teach the children this point, trimming the fingernails, obviously, this is when this can be done regularly. We trim the fingernails of the children. That they get in the habit from the earliest age to remove fingernails and toenails. Obviously, the hygiene which is involved here is obvious, very, very obvious, because dirt, etc., germs can be kept under the fingernails. By removing the fingernails, or the portion that goes beyond the end of the finger, this keeps us and allows us to clean ourselves, our hands, more effectively, hands and toes. Now, so that can start from the earliest age. By doing it practically with the child grows up being used to having the fingernails and toenails removed. That is natural. Now, with regards to, obviously, trimming the mustache, this is not until the child has a mustache. So, similarly, in terms of removing the hair under the armpits and the privates, this is not until the child reaches the point where they're having that hair. I mean, we don't need to teach them about it at the age of 10 if they don't have hair. Obviously, though, in teaching Islam, because we're learning the hadith, etc., when we teach them the hadith, everything is mentioned there. We don't need to just take one portion of the hadith which is relevant to them and leave the rest. No, we can give them the whole statement of the Prophet so they're aware of what he said, but then we emphasize the things which are relevant to them. So we should teach the children when the time is particularly relevant, what is required of them. So when the child reaches puberty, and one of the signs of puberty is the growing of hair under the armpits and between the legs, this is the time that it becomes necessary for us to teach them about removing that hair. So it should be stressed then, every Friday or at least every 40 days. But of course, we should not tell them, which is false, that if they do not do so, then their prayer is not accepted, because we don't have the authority to make such statements. Therefore, dear viewer, Anis, what is required of us is to teach the children when they are at the age that that particular information is relevant, and particularly we as Muslims should try to remove these things from our bodies within the period of times that is recommended by Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessing be upon him. However, to go beyond 40 days does not make our prayer invalid. With that, dear viewers, although Anis does have another question, we'll have to look at it in the next segment. With that, dear viewers, I'll have to cut short the program now, thanking you for being with us on this segment of In the Light of Islam, and we pray that you will be with us in the coming segments. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.